This is Talk Local to Me from the Central Virginia Business Coalition. Local stories, local business, local impact.
I'm jamming. I'm just jamming to
I know, right? I wasn't sure where to start talking because,
I was just.
we no longer have. I no longer feel like I'm a Judge Judy.
Yeah,
I feel like I need to bring more energy to the show now.
Now, yeah, that's why I was over here just dancing.
Welcome to Talk Local
Yeah.
to Me.
Welcome to the final Talk Local to Me.
Oh no, I knew that was coming, but I didn't realize it was this week.
It is. It's the last one ever.
Really?
Yeah. April Fools.
Oh, I forgot
So
about that.
she got me for a second too. She got me for a second.
Had to. I love it. I love it.
covered well though.
Good
forgot.
afternoon, everyone. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg, America's Choice in Home Care.
And this is not the last you will hear from us. Talk local to me.
No,
Going strong.
Let's
Going
talk about
strong.
Let's talk about April Fool's pranks right now. I saw
Sure.
a video this morning that said some great April Fool's Day pranks. So I wish I had planned for this one, but they said take several changes of clothes to work with you and just change throughout the day and don't say anything.
Well, my daughter does that every day to
Right.
me. So like
Okay.
every day is for
But that's I'm
That's
locking
hilarious.
that away for next year. They said another
That's a
one
good
is to take crayons and colored pencils from home and replace everybody's pens on their desk with colored pencils and crayons. Another harmless prank. Pranks that are not good are like pregnancy jokes. 'Cause
Yes,
a lot of
not
people-
a good one. Not a good one.
1 in 8 deal with infertility, so that's
Yep.
not a good one.
Not a good
And
one.
texting your boss that you're quitting your job or trying to tell an employee that like, hey, you're fired today. So
Yeah, that's
now,
not a good
I
one.
may have pranked Heather this morning and said like, hey, I'm going to have to step away from the podcast. And we've had conversations about this. It may happen in real life, but I told her, I said, yeah, it's happened. I'm going to have to take a step back from everything. And she's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? How can I help? Blah, blah, blah. And then what's really funny is my phone did not get her responses back. And I had looped Megan in. It was like a group text. And for some reason, my phone won't take the, like, I'm going to have a fight with T-Mobile. But yeah, but I pranked Heather this morning. And
It's weird. Yeah. And the only reason you got me is because I was literally asleep when you
was
sent me.
5.
And I barely, I heard the ding and I looked and opened my eyes and I saw that and I was like,
it was like 5:50 this morning. I was like, if I'm up, like,
And then it took me 2 seconds to realize that you were.
and I wouldn't have thought about
Not.
pulling a prank like that if you hadn't said, had a great time at Business Off the Clock yesterday.
Yeah,
at
that was fun.
Neighbor's Place. Had a great crowd come out. We got to meet Terry's husband. He is real.
Yeah.
So Terry, if you're listening, glad to know that you didn't make that up. And, but it was, Heather was like, don't anybody prank me tomorrow because like, that's not okay.
Like, I'm not in
And
the mood.
I wouldn't have thought about it if she hadn't said that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you set yourself up.
yeah. In my defense, I was asleep. So
Right.
you didn't. If I had been awake and alert and I'd have gotten that, I'd have been like,
Well, the me not answering for a while probably helped it. Because you're like, why didn't he text back? Like, but I didn't get your text. So,
no. Well, yeah. I just went back to sleep.
oh, well, there's that.
I'm not gonna lie. I literally was like, wait a minute, this is probably a joke. I'm going back to bed.
Yeah.
I'm going back to sleep. But yeah, April Fool Days, it's funny. My husband hates it. I really just don't even prank with him because he just gets all up in his feelings about it. So
I typically, because everybody expects that out of me, I really don't do much.
yeah,
Just make everybody sweat all day. Like, what's he going to do?
sometimes that's the biggest thing is
Sometimes
the
biggest
waiting.
joke is not
like
joking.
what is going to happen
Right.
to me today?
Right.
And then nothing happens.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up. Easter weekend's coming up too.
Yeah.
So everyone's got lots of plans. Lots of, check out all of your local. There's lots of like little egg hunts, fun things to do with your kiddos. A lot of local businesses are doing little fun Easter giveaways and things like that. So if you can still go out and support locally for Easter, I've seen a lot of businesses that are doing like chocolate eggs. I just stopped by, and Jay and Tommy may kill me because they're already working. But look, sorry, I got to show it to everybody. I just stopped by the Blue Lady and got this solid chocolate Easter bunny that they made that I may or may not give to my grandbaby so that Autumn will kill me later. But
She doesn't know that rabbits have ears.
yeah,
If it's missing ears, it's fine.
it'll be fine. Well, I'm just saying all this chocolate for the 2-year-old.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's my April Fool's joke. Here.
Right.
But no, so they've got lots of really great things there. You can pick up for your kiddos, lots of chocolates and fun stuff. But yeah, so we got that coming up. But the CVBC has a lot of things coming up. So we just finished our Lead on Summit, hands down. fabulous event.
That's what I heard.
One of the best ever. That's right. That's what you. Mike
Yeah, I
had to leave. I was so sad.
I did.
For Mike. So I think in all the years I have known Mike, I can count on one hand, maybe just a couple of fingers, the times I have ever seen him mad. Not like just, a little perturbed. I mean, not happy.
I'm pretty even keeled.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Anyway.
So
moving on. Great lead on summit. I'm not going to get into it. Lots of great nuggets of wisdom from our speakers, and great day. Craddock and Terry did a great job hosting us there for the event, and the food was great, and the Minnie's Travel Boutique did a great job coming out with. We did a lot of like little minute to win it games, which were fun to play, and we got to win little prizes throughout the day. So that was a lot of fun.
I did get to meet Rebecca. I'm impressed that I remembered her name because I'm terrible with names, because I even told you that, and learned a little bit of what she did. And then she's like, oh, and I'm on the podcast this week. I'm like, oh, great. I'm really glad I ran into you, because now I know a little bit about who's coming and what they do. So
yeah, I like to surprise Mike sometimes with who's coming, like just random.
It is. I get emails, but sometimes that changes too. So
yeah.
But I also won a prize, which never happens.
What'd you win?
I won from Bravenly. Is that it?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Allison
You did.
Rickos.
Okay, I saw that.
Yeah, I got an Ignite sample or thing coming. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, you got to win like the sample pack of your choice.
Yeah,
that's
the
cool.
sample pack.
Yeah.
So, and I also bought something from her table because she had some little protein balls. They were really good. So
yeah, and
they had some product in it. I don't remember what was in it, but it had something in it that she made with them. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, they were good. I tried. Megan made me try one.
Yeah,
they were really good.
Yeah.
So we also have coming up April the 11th. So it's only like 2 weeks away, not even a week and a half, maybe.
Right.
Our home and garden show and it's basically, I'm calling it our home health expo. So it's home and garden show, health and wellness. We have vendors that provide information for all three. So if you want to come out, it's a great resource because it's like two events in one. Like you're going to be able to come out and talk to some health vendors. If you've been looking for, anything like wellness, we've got like Visiting Angels will be there.
Yeah.
We have Gentle Shepherd Hospice. We have Cindy Burns. We're going to be speaking with her today, so she'll be there. We've got Johnson's Health Center, quite a few on the health side.
Right. And then the things that people really care about is we've got the El Cabritos truck and Maine Lobster.
Yeah, Cousins Maine Lobster will be there. So if you're looking for some good food, we have that there. And then the home show side, we've got about 35 vendors there, everything from roofing to HVAC to we have Toots Nursery will be there with actual like plants that you can purchase.
Oh, that's
we've got pool care. We have real estate. We have mortgage. We have if you're looking for like solar bath. We have flooring.
What about a solar bath?
I don't know.
Okay, just asking.
Possibly. I never know what they're going to pull out.
Like a cool thing. Okay.
It is kind of cool though. I'll take a solar bath.
Right.
So we have kind of something for everyone. I keep seeing people the last couple of weeks have been talking on like the recommendation pages. Like, I need this for my home. I need this for my home. I need this for my home. And I just keep tagging the event. I'm like, come to the event, see who's here, come out and see if there's somebody there that can help you. So we'd love to have a great turnout. So if you're listening, please stop by April the 11th. It's at EC Glass High School. We're going to be on the Memorial Avenue side. So come in through the gymnasium and we will be set up there in the big gym. We also will have First Choice Shredding there. So if you have a plethora of paperwork that you just need to get rid of, like you're tired of keeping it, it's past the 7 years you need to hold on to it, or it's just stuff you've been collecting and you no longer need, it's a free shred event from 11 to 1. So you can bring trash bags, you can bring totes and drop them off and have them shredded. The shredding, you can have staples and paper clips. I think it'll shred those.
Just not binder clips.
No binder clips. So make sure you take any binder clips off.
And if you've got magazines, things like that, they can take that as well. So we actually use them at work. So they're great, but I never know who comes because it's the two main owners are twins.
Yeah, they are.
And you can't tell them apart. So it's challenging sometimes. Someone's like, hey, friend, how are you?
Yeah.
So if they're listening, I know your names, I promise. But yeah, I'm always like, hey, friend.
Yeah. Well, so is it Gareth and Galen? It is Galen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, so 10 to 4, Saturday, April the 11th. stop by, come through. We'll actually have, when you come in, you'll be given a sort of like a passport, if you will. It has a list of everyone who's there, and you take that around. You can get people to sign off on them, and then we're going to have a bunch of different raffle giveaways throughout the day.
Oh, nice.
So once you fill out your sheet and go around and talk to people, you'll drop those back up off front with McCowan Financial. That's our information booth sponsor. So Hunter will be there collecting those, and he'll be able to put you into the raffle drawing. And then we'll also have the opportunity for you to purchase extra raffle tickets. You get one if, going around, but you can
do
purchase
vendors get
more.
one as well?
Vendors do get one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you can go around and chat with people and have some great giveaways. I'm not sure. We have a lot of our vendors are donating raffle prizes. But I'm also going this week. Tractor Supply here in Bedford is donating a couple of things. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I think one's gonna be like a Yeti cooler. They usually are really good about
maybe
giving
some
us
chickens. It's almost that time of year.
Sure, a chicken
Raffle
would be fun. We ought to have
kind of like a white
We
elephant.
should bring one of those little things where you
With
have
the
the chickens
incubator.
just running around and people can buy chickens. That would be fun. Anyway, so let me see what more I can add to this event in the next week and a half. But yeah, so really excited about that. Big thank you to our sponsors and our vendors that are going to be there. We're trying to keep growing this event year after year. This is our second year bringing this back, so we're just going to continue with that growth and I think it's needed in our area, so that's what we're going to continue to do. And then also I will mention our Empower Women's Conference is taking place April the 30th. If you are not, you should be following our Empower Conference Facebook page. We've started posting our speakers on there along with their topics so that you can get to know our speakers and what they're going to be talking about. Our theme this year is Present on Purpose. So we're talking a lot about how are you being intentional in what you're doing. A lot of it is talking about communication, creating boundaries, all of those things as women that I think sometimes we struggle with. And so we have some great speakers coming to that. So tickets are on sale. You're going to want to get them before they sell out. We sell out every year, so don't wait to get those. And then lastly, I'll just mention our CVABC Open is open. Okay. Anyway, registration for that is open. The CVABC Open is our putt-putt tournament. It will be taking place on Tuesday, May the 5th. We're actually kind of running this almost like a business off the clock because it'll be a fun evening event for members to come out to. I say you can do teams of 2, teams of 4. What it really boils down to is about $20 a person. So even if you just come by yourself and want to play putt-putt, it's $20 a person. And that includes your unlimited golf. You can play every course. You can show up at 3 and stay till 8. Play till your heart's content.
Okay.
You also get pizza for your team, and you get drinks. And so...
sodas, to be clear.
Yes, sodas. Sorry, we cannot have a beer truck at the putt-putt. Family-friendly event, folks. But it is a lot of fun. This will be our 6th year hosting this event. And it really is such a fun time watching everyone come out. We'll have people that'll do teams of like their employees and kind of just come out and have like a professional development sort of event. I watch teams members that come out with their kids and just do a fun family night with their kiddos at the putt-putt. So however you want to do it, bring your enemies for all I care. I mean, challenge somebody to come play
the
golf.
Most important question. Are people able to turn in scores and we're going to have a big contest?
So the way we're going to do it this year, yes. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 courses. One course is going to be more for fun. So if you're just wanting to go play with family, putt around, have a good time. The second course will be designated our challenge/tournament course. Yeah. So if your team plays that course, then yes, you will be playing for, all the marbles, and you'll turn in your sheets at the end of the event. And our winner will be receiving a trophy, marking them the greatest of all times at the CVABC Open.
So the prize is not actual marbles?
Not actual marbles.
Okay.
But we are going to have a trophy and probably a gift certificate that'll be given to... so I think what we'll probably do is a trophy for like the singular winner, but the team that scores the lowest, we're going to have like a gift certificates that go to all 4 players.
Okay.
It's kind of how we're looking at running that.
I like it.
So that's new this year, is having like the challenge course. So we do have whole sponsorships available for that. And that will be sending out. It's $100 if you want to do one course, $150 if you want to have it on both courses. And the cool thing about the whole sponsorships are that at most golf tournaments you go to, it's up for a day, right? You go, you play golf, it's there. Putt allows us to leave them up for 2 weeks. So your business is seen for 2 weeks to more than just those that are visiting us that evening. So that's always fun.
I like it.
But that's enough about all the things we have to do, because actually I'm just tired of talking and we have a lot of things. And
let's get to
the people that are here today to talk with us about the things that make their business important and fun that everyone should know about. So we are joined this morning with Rebecca Mason, and she is with Mountain Laurel Learning. How are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me here. It's kind of like sitting at the cool kids table in the cafeteria. You know, come be on the podcast.
And Mike's here too.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. Sorry.
You know what I mean, Mike.
No, I'm just playing. No, it is so much fun. So when Rebecca and I met last week and we were chatting about just her business and going over benefits and stuff, I told her, I was like, this place is really cool. Like when you come here, like it's not just like you're coming to our office and sitting there with a mic and, you know, you're just doing a podcast like I've seen some people do. It's an actual studio and it's really cool. So for people who've been listening to us wondering and you've not been to the studio,
it's pretty cool.
For one, if you're a member, call me because you need to get on the show.
Right.
For two, if you're not a member, find out how to be on the show and come see this awesome studio.
It is awesome. It's very fun.
It is very cool.
Yeah. So Rebecca's a new member and technically a new member-ish because she was a member in a prior life, but with a different business a couple of years ago, which the fun fact about that is we were downtown Salem this weekend and I saw elderberries and Autumn was like, oh, we should go over there. I was like, that's where Rebecca is. So anyway, but we're not chatting about that today. We're chatting about Mountain Laurel Learning. So tell us a little bit, just kind of an overview of Mountain Laurel Learning, and then we'll kind of dive in.
Yeah. So as you were mentioning, I've got a background as a small business owner and owning a smoothies and wraps cafe, little store. So I've got some entrepreneur experience. But in this chapter of my life with Mountain Laurel Learning, what I'm doing is kind of trying to bring some of that experience to training stronger teams for Lynchburg area businesses. So predominantly right now, what I've got live on my website and ready to go is ServSafe food safety courses. So I'm offering those in all varieties that they can be offered in. I have a strong background in food safety. I've done that in previous lives, as you said, doing certifications there. But I'm also adding in other development and leadership things, primarily taking flight with DISC, which is amazing for any industry, for any person, and just trying to bring awesome training opportunities to small businesses.
Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit, what is ServSafe? Like, what is that exactly?
So
for anyone who maybe doesn't know.
Sure. So ServSafe is a nationally recognized food safety certification. And any restaurant or any establishment that is serving food is required to have at least one food safety certified manager. And ServSafe is the most widely accepted and expected certification in that. So it is it's a pretty big test. So it covers a lot of material, all aspects of food safety management, from time and temperatures to even your facility and how that should be set up. It's very inclusive of all kinds of things. It's a full-on exam certification that has to be proctored by a certified proctor. It's a lot of material. So it's a certification that has to get renewed so that you keep somebody on board in a management position that has that food safety certification. So it's an amazing, but a lot of times people have to travel because they're not always offered locally. Restaurant owner recently told me the last time he had to do it, he had to take 2 people to Hampton Roads and things like that. So some of the people travel a little bit. So I hope it'll be nice and convenient for Lynchburg to have that locally.
Yeah. So
taking any time for training that's out of the office and whatever, challenging.
Hard.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah, and the drive time is something too.
Right.
So any restaurant, cafe, they need to have this training, or at least somebody on their staff has to have had this training.
Yes, that's exactly right. In order to be managing that food facility, at least one person. And it kind of depends on the operation and their menu and things like that. But yeah, just knows how to keep food safe.
Well, because let's be honest, food safety is a big thing. I mean, the last thing you want is for someone to come to your establishment, eat, and then get sick or have some kind of issue, because we all know that like bad press is going to go out further and quicker than the good.
Yes.
I can go in all day and be like, oh, this is great food. And then one person will be like, oh, I came in and got food poisoning. And, and then it's like, oh my gosh, shut that place down.
Yeah. Worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's a safety issue, obviously, for your customers and your guests, but it also ruins your restaurant reputation. I mean, even if you just get a bad score on your health inspection. And I found that a lot of business owners or kitchen managers, they really, really don't like having that health inspection come in. Makes them really nervous.
Yeah.
And again, in my previous lives, I've been a food safety division manager for a large grocery company, and I've got a lot of working background in food safety, even running my own restaurants. And so having an academic understanding of food safety is one thing, but having that working knowledge, it's a lot to it. You've got to be vigilant in keeping food safety standards up.
Yeah. My husband will tell you, I don't do that in my kitchen. No, I'm kidding. He's constantly like, no, I'm not even gonna lie though. My husband he's like, how long has that been in the fridge? What's the due date? How long have we had that? Like, we've had that shrimp because we get those Hello Fresh, like the Home Chef boxes, delivered every now and then.
Yeah. And if you don't use those quick, the trust is not there after a couple days.
Yeah. You have to use them in like 2 to 3 days, like tops. And especially if it's seafood, because I get a lot with like shrimp or salmon in it. And my husband will be like, when we get that box, how long has it been there? Like, he's on it. And I'm sitting here like, it'll be fine. And he's like,
well, I'll tell you,
it will not be fine.
When I was dating my now husband, I was appalled that he did not have an internal food thermometer, and he was cooking chicken without taking the temperature.
Oh yeah.
So I bought this man a brand new, very nice,
yes,
digital thermometer. And so then after we got married, I had a brand new thermometer because he never took it out of the package.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we have 2 of those because we keep them like right on the hood of our.
Yeah, there
we're
you go.
we're really funny in our house about chicken, especially.
Yes.
Like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, everyone on the podcast has heard me talk before about how picky I am about eating out and eating meat when I am. I'm extremely picky. I really only, when I go out for the most part, it's either seafood, because shrimp, you pretty much can cook shrimp pretty well and know that it's done. And the same with like fish, because it flakes and you can really tell. But like, I'm really picky about chicken and beef because I don't know why I'm so picky. I stick with seafood for the main part, or just like pasta dishes when I go out that I don't.
Because you're worried about a food safety issue?
No, because I'm just picky about meat. I guess. I don't know.
Like if the texture's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about ADHD
I'm weird. Like, it's just crazy like that. But I mean, there's some places I'm good with it. But maybe there is some of that healthy, like maybe that's kind of in the back of my head. Like, how well was this cooked, or how was it cooked? I don't know. But it's good to know, because they have to have like something that shows that they've gone through those classes, or that they've had their inspections and things. And I do look at that. I don't know if, however many people do actually look at that. No, I don't do it at every restaurant. I don't walk in and go, hey, let me see your safety certificate. But like, if they've got them, a lot of places you'll see them like hanging behind their cash registers and things like that. And I pay attention to it. So,
and if you don't see it anywhere, it might mean that they don't.
Might mean that they didn't do it.
And so one thing I'm hoping to add to my ServSafe certifications is other just general food safety training, because I mean the ServSafe certification is a whole thing, right? A whole thing, and I want to provide food safety training that is also just a more practical, real life in the kitchen. What do we do in this type of a situation? That people could enroll their employees in as a team, or
Mhm.
you've got a new person who just doesn't have that sort of experience, that you can give them some great food safety training.
Mhm.
I'm also working on having a Spanish speaking instructor. So
Right.
I have a Spanish speaking certified proctor. So, and I also offer the online ServSafe training. So if someone who wants to go through that process could take that training online in Spanish and then come in and do their test in
Mhm.
Spanish with a Spanish speaking proctor, which I think is a really big deal because the ServSafe, especially, it's so technical, it's so dry. It's often boring for people.
Right.
But imagine doing that in something that's not your first language. I mean,
Right.
it sounds like a nightmare.
Right. Absolutely.
So I want to provide that to Lynchburg area as well.
So what area do you service? Like, and I know you're in Lynchburg and you just set up, but like, what areas do you typically see like that could come like anywhere within like let's say Region 2000 area, like the counties that?
Yeah. So I am going to have a training facility. It is in Forest off of Perryville Road.
Mhm.
And so anywhere within driving distance of that,
Okay.
oftentimes, especially for ServSafe, depending on when the class is offered, which is another thing I'm planning to offer them at least monthly, maybe a couple times a month. So when your certification runs out, you kind of got this sweet spot of when you need it, you know.
Mhm,
And so anywhere drivable from there, but certainly the Lynchburg area, I'm not too far from Bedford, even the Roanoke area, definitely Amherst. I think it would still be well within driving distance.
Yes.
And so I was, hearing Save Surf and all that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like that's probably like a couple hours, things like that. Like your classes are from 8:30 to 6
Oh, goodness.
for the food protection manager training and
Yes.
certification. Like that's
Yes.
a healthy class.
It
Like
is. It's 8 hours of training is what the full course is. And then ServSafe requires that you allow for 2 hours for the actual exam. Sometimes people get done earlier than that. You might be able to head out a little bit earlier. But what I offer is that 8-hour class, and it comes with the textbook and even a little study bundle. So if you've got someone who has never done this certification before, they're new to the material, that's what they're going to want.
they've got all the
because-
tools they need.
Yes, they can learn
Very
it.
good.
And I also offer a much shorter, like I call it review and recertification. So it'll be a 1-hour review and then the recertification test, which would be great for people who have done this before and who've had this training and just they don't want to sit through the whole 8-hour class again. So I've
Right.
got that option as well.
Did
Speaking
we move
of-
closer to the train?
speaking
like,
of
did this
training.
building move closer? I feel like it's gotten louder in the last couple of like weeks.
It definitely has. Like they come through the building now instead of going around it. So it's
Yes.
a lot.
I noticed that also.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Oh, goodness. Well, also, we've talked a little bit about the ServSafe, but you are also going to be offering some other classes that are not the necessarily like the food and
Yes.
health. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So the other thing that I'm offering, or I'm getting ready to make it live on my website, is called Taking Flight with DISC. So a lot of people have heard of DISC personality or how to use those type of assessments and communication. It's an amazing tool.
Mhm.
And basically DISC is kind of dividing personality styles into 4 groups, if you're not familiar with that. So it's incredibly useful, incredibly beneficial to be able to learn your own style, what your natural communication style is, and then also be able to identify that in others so that you can communicate with them the way that'll be most effective.
Yeah.
So Taking Flight is sort of DISC like you've never seen it before, I say. It has bird characters. So a lot of people, even who have gone through DISC, say, I don't remember my letter, or I remember my letter, but I don't remember what it stood for.
yeah, I've taken a couple of those tests and like I have no
I
idea.
remember I'm extroverted. I think it has
Yeah, I
something
could
to
have
do with
told you
this,
that.
Yeah.
but I'm not sure what my letters are.
So Taking Flight has like little cartoon birds. Okay.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier to get. Here comes the train again. It's a lot
Or is it
easier.
the same one? Has that one ever even ended? I feel like it's just
No,
been
just-
going.
I don't know.
Anyway, sorry about that. Train's taking flight. Birds are taking flight.
Yes, that was perfect. So they've got different little cartoon birds. So you can you're a parrot, you're an owl, whatever.
Oh, I hope I'm an owl.
I
That's my favorite.
like you could be. I feel like you might
I feel
be
like
parrot.
I feel like
Little
it might be a parrot. Oh, is that because they talk a lot? I feel like it is.
Well,
I
I'm a
was going to
parrot,
say that.
and yeah.
She said, "And yeah,
So we're
there we are."
We're not here for the party. We are the party, right?
Oh,
so there's
yes.
the parents.
That's me. That's
Yes.
me.
But it's real easy to connect with the little character identity of the bird,
Mhm.
and it gives you some vocabulary to use with your team. And this is actually a course that when I was running my Smoothies and Wraps cafes in Roanoke, I sought out a program that I could do with my employees. So with my managers, I got them this assessment. I read the book myself and we sat down and talked about it. And it was amazing for us. And I loved it. And it gave us that vocabulary to say, hey, that new hire that you're working with, they might be an owl and you're trying to parrot them, you know?
Right.
So it was definitely high on my list for what I was going to offer with Mountain Laurel. So I'm going to be doing that with the individual assessments and then like a debrief. I'm also going to have the class, just open enrollment. You can come to it because this is the kind of training that bigger companies might offer through their HR department. You know, they might have somebody in-house that does it. And small businesses don't get that. It's hard. And as you know, I mean, offering leadership training and different learning opportunities. So this will be a great thing that small businesses can send themselves or one or two team members. And I'm going to do that in private groups as well. And I actually am next week going to be getting my certification in the Coaching in Style program.
Oh,
so in style. So I'll be able to do.
So we can dress up.
We could dress up.
We'll be in style. No,
That's
just kidding.
a great idea. That will be part of the program.
Dress up like the character you think you are.
Yeah.
Then we'll change clothes and see if
just
anybody notices.
Randomly throughout the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need parrot.
See, we can do all kinds of fun things with this.
I might just do that just to mess with people, especially if I go to more than one event a day. Like, because you see, the same circles, like you get to see similar people, things like that. Like, it'd be funny for people to just be like,
were you wearing that earlier?
Right.
No, I wasn't. I'm going to do that during Empower. Every time, like a different speaker, I'll come back on stage in a different outfit.
People do that.
That would be hilarious.
They go change their evening gown.
I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
Oh, I should come out in an evening gown. Hello, friends. Don't give me any ideas. But anyway, sorry, we just completely digressed but I do love what you were saying about doing the disc, and especially with small business owners, because you're right. They don't have access to a huge human resource department that can potentially provide that stuff. And it is important to know, for me, like as a, the executive director, I have staff under me, and you're right. Maybe now Megan and I are the same person. I will admit, but like, you may have someone who's introverted and you're sitting there just talking their ear off, and, making it seem like everything's, butterflies and rainbows, and maybe they're, struggling that day. And here's me just being the parrot, I guess I am. And, so I think it would, that's a great tool.
It is
to bring to the area.
It is
that even two people can go to and be like, hey, I just need to find out who I am.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. And I mean, so often we as small businesses, you barely have time to think about and focus on training, even though it is so important. I think a lot of small business owners would agree with that, but it's still hard. And we are good at training on the technical or on the tasks, that sort of thing. And we sometimes miss the mark on training with the people aspect. And again, whatever industry that you're in, if you're not in any industry, if you are a mother raising human beings, you're dealing with different personality styles. And so it's beneficial to the whole person, not just their role at work, but team dynamics or training new hires. I mean, that was a subject that came up in my business a lot, was managers will get frustrated. Why isn't this person getting it? And
right.
For us to be able to, we went through a period of time where it was what I called the people desert, right? Where we were trying to hire and trying to hire and trying to hire. That's an ongoing struggle, especially in the restaurant industry. But I finally just told my managers, like, listen, if this is how it is, then we better get good at this.
Right.
And I think that's the way that you've got to look at it. It's an investment in your people, which is ultimately an investment in your business.
Yeah. And especially if you have like a lot of especially so in healthcare traditionally, there's a lot of turnover, things like that.
Yes.
Ours is very low because I feel like we have done well of like judging character, things like that. Like not character, that's not their personality type and how to communicate with them. And we smooth the bumps out really quickly. Like, we've got some caregivers that we can just send a text and be like, hey, can you do this? And then others, you got to kind of woo them, right? You got to be like, hey, you're such a valuable part of the team. It would really help us out if you pick this up, right? That's a completely different conversation and things. Yeah. How do you motivate people?
How do you work with them? And then how do you understand them? We all have our own personality style, and how am I interpreting you?
Right.
It's I often say, and I've said it before, every industry works with people no matter what you're doing, but people can be the absolute worst.
Right.
People can be the absolute best. This train, they
I don't know
heard
what's
that I was
happening.
going to be on this
They did.
podcast,
Yeah.
and everybody's rolling
We're
in.
going to go move the tracks next week.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
really, there is no train. It's coming through the speakers. This is the April Fool's Day prank.
It's an April Fool's joke.
That would be a great prank, but like, no.
What does that mean that I was scheduled on
So-
April Fool's Day?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
What does that mean?
It means we're not really going to play this episode.
Mike Cook, your brother set it up. I don't know.
I believe that.
So,
Well, I will say, tell us how people that may be listening, that are thinking like, oh, I need to go ahead and get that training, get set up for it. How can they get registered? What's the best way for them to get a hold of you or to get signed up?
Yes. Okay. So I'm setting up my website. I have just a good old fashioned square website. Okay. I'm trying to make it easy. So you can just go to my website, which is mountainlaurellearning.com. That's it. It's pink. You'll see my pink logo.
flowers.
And yes, some pink flowers there. And all the course descriptions and all the dates that they're offered are there, and you can just register right there. And that will take you through some questions like, if you need a textbook or, we are doing online certifications, which is also nice. You either bring your own laptop or I've got some that you can borrow. It'll get you all that information. You can see all the dates. So that is where I will soon be putting my taking flight classes, but all the ServSafe is there right now. And I have those classes already scheduled.
Okay. All right.
like it.
Perfect.
so there's two questions that we ask every guest that comes on Talk Local to Me. Number one is, how long have you been part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
So only since March. I'm brand new.
Right. That's only a day ago.
Look at
Yesterday was March.
It was.
So, and what do you think is the greatest benefit or value of being part of the CVABC?
So I was really impressed, really excited with all of the opportunities. I mean, when Heather was explaining to me, you guys do events. But things like this, being able to be on this podcast or the tea time or just other benefits that you have for being a member and just connecting with other people is really huge and exciting for me. And I think it feels like it's all really geared towards small business and growth and connections. And that's where it's at. So I'm super excited, even though I'm still brand new. I'm looking forward to all the things.
I like it.
Yep. Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to cut to a quick commercial. Thank you, Rebecca, for being here with us. And we will be back with Cindy Burns and chatting with her. And I'm going to find out if she's got a new name yet.
Brought to you by Omega Disaster Restoration, located in Campbell County, Virginia. Omega specializes in water, fire, and smoke damage restoration, as well as mold remediation. Their region includes Central and Southwest Virginia, which spans a vast service area from Blacksburg to Charlottesville and Stanton to Danville.
In addition to disaster restoration and full service reconstruction and remodeling, Omega is proud to offer custom all-wood cabinets through their Hanover Woodworking Studio, custom countertops via their Top Solution Studio, and dumpster services through Old Dominion Dumpsters, all part of the Omega family of brands. A beautiful showroom is currently under construction at their Exchange Drive location and will be soon open to the public, showcasing their diverse offerings.
Customers can call 434-616-4659 for emergency assistance with water, fire, smoke damage, or mold remediation needs. Omega provides 24/7 emergency response, ensuring that help is always available. Locally owned and not a franchise, Omega is your first and last call in any emergency, restoring your home or business from beginning to end. For more information about Omega Disaster Restoration and their comprehensive services, please visit omegadisasterrestoration.com/VA/Lynchburg.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care.
And my April Fool's prank is now you'll have that in your head for the rest of the day. So.
Yeah. Well, yes. And if you enjoyed listening to our commercials and would like to have your commercial played during our podcast, let me know. We can create an in-house commercial, whether myself or Mike read it, or you can come in and create your own for the low cost of only $100 for the month. So
That's not bad.
you can't beat that. Can't beat it. Because not only is it played here live, folks, but once this is over,
3.2 million people will hear.
That's correct, because it's uploaded to wherever you get your podcast. So when people are downloading and they're listening, they're hearing your commercial over and over. That is why Visiting Angels is doing so well this year.
Yes, yeah, that's why.
There it is, folks. There it is.
Yeah, I love it when people, and I'm like, we ask all the time, like, how did you hear about us? And it's either, I heard about it from somebody, that I know, or we've had quite a few people that have used, because Visiting Angels is a franchise, so like it's all over the United States. I had a family member that used it here, or I saw the TV commercial, or, we've had a few that said like, hey, podcast commercial. And, but whenever somebody says like the TV, I'm like, those are great commercials, right? Like it took me a long time to do that. And they were like, you did that? I'm like, no, not even a little bit. So.
Yeah. That's great. So, well, we are back with our second half of the show guest, and we want to welcome Cindy Burns with us. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I always ask, how are you?
Well, no, I'm good. I am doing great. I had a bite of cookie in between guests, so
Wait,
that's
you have cookies
helpful.
too? You
I
didn't
have
share that.
Uno cookie. I bought a chocolate covered Oreo. You know me and my Oreos.
It should be an Uno reverse cookie,
Yeah.
so I could have some too, but that's fine.
I had to buy me a chocolate covered Oreo with the lady as well.
Because you didn't have enough at home because you lost all your boxes.
No, I found them. I found all my boxes. By the way, for those who don't know, I love white chocolate covered Oreos. You can only get them at Christmas time. So at Christmas time, I may or may not buy enough boxes of cookies to get me through till next Christmas. So I had like a whole bunch of boxes. I allow myself one cookie like a night. So for all y'all out there, but I had put all my boxes in a box, and then I couldn't find my box. And I thought my husband like hid them from me, so I couldn't. And I found them the other day, so I was really excited.
Yeah, I still have 2 boxes of Christmas trees, so I won't judge.
Yeah, I have all my cookies are accounted for. I'm very excited about that. But anyway, sorry, I completely took away from Cindy. She started talking to me, and I'm talking about cookies. So, so I was gonna say, Cindy Burns with Finding Purpose, but we've changed some
Breaking
things
news.
up.
Yeah,
And this is not an April Fool's prank. Like this is real.
No, this is real, and I'm rebranding. My website doesn't. I just decided this morning.
Oh, good. Good. Well, you have been thinking about it for a while now.
Yeah. The new name is Still Living.
Okay.
Helping widows live a meaningful life again.
Love it.
No, I like it.
I love it.
Yeah, Finding Purpose was for everybody and all kinds of grief. But when I initially had the idea to start doing this, it was for widows at a certain point in their grief. And because I'd had a hard time at that point, and I didn't know any other widows. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I want to be there for them. And it's just, so I wanted to go back to my roots.
Yeah. Well, I think that is really, just in the time that I've known you, I think that's very appropriate because you took something and it was kind of broader, but you were able to really focus down into more of your niche and where you yourself thrive. Because
where my heart is.
Right. Because that only lets you help others even more intentionally when we're talking about, intentional. That's my word for the year. So we're going to throw that in there. But like that's helping you be more intentional with the support you're giving because that's where that's where you thrive at. And that's where, your heart is. And so I think it looks really good.
I won't turn away somebody who's grieving the loss of a parent or the loss of, anybody or anything. But my primary focus is widows.
Okay. Well, so tell us a little bit more.
My husband died 15 years ago this August. I thought I grieved well. I found out I didn't.
Yeah.
I kind of held it all in. I didn't want to upset my kids or people who knew me. And it's just, I did all my crying in private. in the shower usually, in the shower or in the car usually. But that wasn't enough. There's more to grief than just crying. But I was okay. But about 7 years later, I started, I was retired. My kids were grown. I had nothing to do. I had nobody. I'm a carer. I'm a caregiver. And I had nobody to give that care to. I found myself sitting in my recliner every day, usually in my nightgown, watching TV. And one day I just asked myself, do I want this to be my life for the rest of my life? And at that time I thought, I can live another 20 or 30 years. I didn't want it to be, nightgown, recliner, and TV.
Right.
So I did a lot of prayer. I did a lot of thinking. I tried a lot of things that didn't work.
And it's always a journey to find that fit for like where your passion is, right?
Yeah.
So I had the conversation with somebody yesterday and they were like, well, how did you get into this? And I was like, well, honestly, it's kind of pushed, right? And it's a funny story because like my dad said, hey, Viz Angels like want to do this. And I was like, not really my thing. Like, I'm not from healthcare. Like, I don't know if this is really the fit, right? Well, then come to find out every job I'd had leading up to that, which is I have a weird career path, right? Used to be a florist, worked at a nonprofit for a year, worked in electronics for most of my career, right? Programming machines, things like that. But everything that I had done from being able to, having processes with machines, different things like that, and having to think on my feet, right? To keep this thing running, to make whatever, to keep things going. And then, working for a nonprofit and learning all of those things, and then being a florist, like that was how to be creative and like really customer service and the power of meeting people where they are for the sale, things like that. And so everything I did led me to this. So when I went to the Pennsylvania for the training, when I came back, I told my wife, I was like, I don't care if I never touched another flower. Like, this is what I was made to do. I never would have picked it. Yeah. Right. It picked me. And I'm very grateful. Like in June, I'll be celebrating 10 years. And like to look back, like it's wild. I still remember the first year of like, are we going to make this? Like in the second year, are we going to make this? Like, and then like, even some days now it's like, is this going to work? Right. And we're 10 years in, but I think that kind of keeps it exciting and things like that. But like we've, definitely proven ourselves as being able to do really well at what we do and have a great reputation in the community and be able to do things like I saw Cindy this morning and I was like, don't be late to the podcast because we're going to the same place. Because we had coffee for caregivers in our office this morning, which is a great group, right? It's fantastic. I also talked about that yesterday and talking with this person, but it's very funny because I never would have picked this on my own, but because of my experiences in life, it kind of like, it's the perfect fit, but there is no one cookie cutter thing that like, oh, you're a widow, you should do this.
No.
Right. Because everybody's journey is different.
Well, and I think that what you're doing is hard. I mean, you're talking about a very hard subject. It's not something people want to talk about.
No.
Yeah. And I wish I had known you back when my grandfather passed away, because like my grandmother was one of the strongest people I knew. Like you would have never thought she would go downhill as quickly as she did when she lost the person that she always cared for and was like her better half. And like, they did everything together. And like, I always thought that if my grandmother went first, my grandfather, definitely, I could have seen it. But my grandmother always seemed to be the strong one. So you always think, oh, she's so strong. There's nothing going on there. But after my grandfather passed, very soon she became that person. We'd come home, she'd in her nightgown, watching her stories or like the game show network.
Yeah.
But she got to where she didn't want to eat. We were having to come in there and like fix food for her because we were like, Grandma, you got to eat something, and then eventually we had to put her in a nursing home. And, I think had she had somebody or something that she could have sat down with and coped more and spoken more about her grief, because I think she tried to do the same thing. She had 4 kids. She had 7 grandchildren. Like, it also leads, I think, sometimes for those like the outside of us looking, like us looking in, thinking, what could we have done different, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, for her though, she'd lost her person.
will.
Like
Yeah.
that was it. And I exactly like when you were just speaking, all I could see was my grandmother in front of my face. And so like I just think what you are offering people is a great resource to the community, and people don't want to talk about it.
No. And there isn't really very many other options.
I mean,
to go to.
churches have grief. Some churches have grief groups. There is one or two, and I can't think the names of either one of them. But they're like franchises,
Yeah.
kind of. And I mean, I think they're free, but they help people, through all stages of grief. Most people, when they go to those kind of things, stop when they start feeling a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I pick up at that point because they may be feeling better, but they don't know where they're going.
Right.
I like when I explain what I do, it's for widows who are tired of being strong,
Mm-hmm.
are tired of pretending that they're fine. And I individualize everything. It's what you need at that moment, and it's baby steps to get there.
Right.
Right.
We discover, what you want your goal to be. And it can be the tiniest thing. It could be getting used to eating in a restaurant alone.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is.
And, different things like that. And so we do it in baby steps according to your personality, your level of grief, how it's not how much you're crying. It's more than that. And yeah, I help. Another way I put it is I help widows learn to live with their grief instead of living in their grief.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about, and you may do this and I just don't know, so that's one of the reasons I love this podcast, because even though I talk to Cindy and I've seen Cindy, like I learn things.
Right.
Have you ever done it where like maybe the inevitable is coming? Like, your husband is getting ready to pass. Like there's
Anticipatory grief.
Yes. Do you do that? Like, do you go and speak with women or men prior to their significant other passing, just kind of able to walk them into like starting some of those
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
pre-grieving?
I went through it myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I called it pre-grief. I didn't know there was an actual name.
Yeah.
Anticipatory.
That's a $5 word right there.
Yeah. And it's hard to say with a dry mouth. But I haven't done it for anyone. I could,
Right. Okay.
because I've taken a class that covered all aspects of grief, or not a class, a course, and I'm certified. I'm a certified grief doula.
Okay.
But there are death doulas in Lynchburg and there's others online too if you're not in Lynchburg. Although, why are you listening to this?
Oh no, we have people listening all over
All
the
over the
place
place.
True. Okay.
because we're awesome like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
But yeah, they do wonderful. They help the family cope with things. They help the person who's dying live or die with dignity. They're not, a lot of them are nurses. The two I know, I think, are hospice nurses, and that's how they got into this. But they're not there to nurse. If you're in hospice, you've got a hospice nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not there for that, but they're there to help with things that you hadn't thought of. Maybe a will. Maybe, not doing a will, but getting them to do it.
Right.
Record their memories for their loved ones.
Yeah.
Different things like that. That's what they do. And they help the people who will be left behind. They don't usually help with them after.
Mm-hmm.
Hospice does offer some grief counseling. I don't know how long that lasts.
Typically about a year to 13 months, something like that. So
Okay.
it's quite a while, but a lot of people don't take advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
Because the funeral home does the same thing. Like they'll give you, I think it's 13 months of grief counseling afterwards, but it's nobody ever wants to talk
I never
about
went.
grief, right? Yeah.
Yeah, my funeral home did offer that, and they were luncheons, I think. And I just thought, I don't want to eat a hamburger while I'm crying.
Right. Right.
So I never went.
Yeah.
I didn't take advantage of.
Right. And
A
most
lot.
people don't, because it's hard enough to talk about it. It's hard to go to somewhere that is associated with that grief to talk about it, right? And they have where you can call and do it over the phone. A lot of people don't want to do it over the phone either,
Yeah.
right?
I
you
do
know.
online, over the phone, in person.
Yeah. So it's having those options though is key, because I don't even like to use a phone. Like if I can't use an app to order pizza, I'm not ordering pizza, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't even want to have.
You don't want
That's
to
a
push that
difficult enough
green phone
conversation
button.
for me, much less talking about grief, right?
Right.
And grief is really funny because you can feel like, I'm fine, I'm getting through. I was having a conversation the other day and I was talking about a cell phone that we had, and it's my dad's old line, right? Numbers changed, everything, but it's like I still associate with that's his phone line. And had to just stop talking and catch myself, because it was it just snuck up on me out of nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And day to day, I'm fine. I've processed grief. I'm in therapy. That's important too. Things like that. But it's, it still kind of sneaks up on you at the most unexpected moments.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to still function through that grief, right? Not living in it, but just with it, like you said, and being able to go and eat by yourself, right? That's a hard thing to get used to, especially when you used to go with your spouse, things like that. And especially if you have places you go and you associate that place with that person.
Yeah.
So,
That sometimes you just can't do. But some people, that's what they want to be able to do. And I can help them do that.
right.
Something you said made me think of something, and now I can't remember it.
I was talking about talking about grief.
You said you were in therapy.
Yeah.
I encourage people to see a grief therapist or just a therapist in general. I don't deal with depression.
As Mike looks at me.
I can't help you with depression. I'm not, I don't have all those letters behind my name.
Right.
And so I saw my doctor. I realized that I was depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw my doctor, and luckily the first course of medicine was right for me. A lot of times you have to play
trial
around
and error.
with different
Right.
ones, but I was lucky. And I've cut out one of them. So, if you need more help than just what do I do, how do I do it, where do I go, I would suggest a therapist or a counselor. I can help with some of that. I can tell you, that's normal. People go through that, and here's what some people find helpful. I can definitely help with that. But if it goes deeper, you need somebody that's better trained than me.
Okay. Well, that's really good advice, because I think a lot of, and I love the fact that you say that, because, some people don't want to admit I can't do everything, or, you need this, you need that. And, so it's,
I don't want to hurt people.
yeah, it's great that,
Right.
that you're able to, say, hey, I can help with this, but there's other pieces to the puzzle that you probably need to put together and everything. But, I definitely agree. I think a lot of people don't. Yeah, they don't deal with grief the way they probably
It's
should.
an
and
uncomfortable thing to talk
it is. It's very uncomfortable. But, and even again, in my case, we've talked about, for me, it wasn't my significant other, but it was my brother. I grew up with him all my life. That was my, it's your brother,
Right.
But when it happened, I kind of, like you said, I had to be strong for my kids, for my parents, because both of my parents are older. And, again, that's one of the things you don't ever want to have to think about is burying your child, no matter how old you are. And, and you had to think about that. And you had to think about, my sister on the other end. And I'm the oldest. So it was like a lot of it all fell
Fell on your
right
shoulders.
here. And you don't really have time to process it. You just do. Like you just go into that go mode and it's just like, I have to make sure this is happening. I have to make sure this got taken care of. And I have to,
Right.
and then by the time it's all done, it's almost like you didn't have time in that window where everyone else was like crying and grieving to do it. So then you're just like, well, dang.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not going back there, but you're like Mike said, it sneaks up in you in the littlest things. Like, you know, it could be something you're eating or something you hear, or sometimes I look at my kid, like my son, who is like almost a spitting image and laughs. Like I'll hear him laugh and it's like my brother's laugh. And like,
I have a son who snores just like my husband did.
You know, so it's little things, but, then it's hard to go back and talk to anybody because it's like,
well, this happened years ago. You should be over it.
Oh,
right. Well, that
right.
There's that.
Over it.
Yeah. It gets me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Drives me insane.
Well, there's that, or you just don't want to upset the people I'm closest to lost him as well. So it's like you don't want to open that wound up again.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. It's hard. So I think I encourage people, if you're out there and you're listening and, you know, you are, you know, grieving, especially if you're grieving your significant other, if you're a widow, you know, reach out to Cindy and set up a time just to meet with her, have some coffee or something, you know, and just chat.
yeah. I love talking on podcasts and summits and anywhere that people will listen to me about just grief in general. Because as a society, I think we're so afraid of death and dying that we don't talk about it. And we don't talk. I am not. I generally, depends on my audience, who I'm talking to, but I generally don't say that somebody passed or they're gone or something like that. You know, I don't use euphemisms. I say they died. And I want to make that kind of thing more normal.
Believe it or not, I actually had that conversation the other day. Somebody was like, I hate when they say somebody passed, like they died.
Yeah.
Right. And it's okay. Like it's harder to say that because it's harder to accept, but like saying that someone passed or like the medical term, they expired.
I lost my husband. Well, I didn't lose my husband. I know exactly where he is.
Right.
His ashes are at the church thing they've got, and his soul is in heaven. So, you know, I know exactly where he is. He passed. What was it? A test he had to take?
Right.
You know, none of them feel right to me.
Right. I got you. Yeah.
So Cindy, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you?
Email, and that's cindy@cindyjburns.com. My website is cindyjburns.com, but it's not good right now, and it's going to be undergoing a complete facelift with my new branding. And if you're on Facebook, friend me, Cindy Judd Burns, and use Messenger. That's my favorite way is Messenger.
Okay.
So we ask two questions of every guest that comes on the podcast. I need more sleep. I was up too early this morning pranking people. So we ask every guest that comes on the podcast 2 questions. One is, how long have you been part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
I think it's 3 years.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think is the greatest benefit or thing that you use that CVABC provides?
The people in networking.
Yeah.
CVABC was previously mentioned. They're everywhere. They do everything.
Yeah.
And you get out there and you participate. You meet people, whether they can help you in your business or not.
Right.
I just love meeting new people.
Right.
And I'm really trying to up my social game.
Right.
I don't go out or do much of anything. So I'm trying to change that. And CVABC gives me that opportunity to get out of the house.
Yeah.
So, I really, it's the people. They're just wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Except that Heather. I don't know about her.
Oh, that lady. She's a nuisance. She's a parrot. Oh, goodness. Well, thank you both for joining us today on Talk Local to Me. I enjoyed learning more about both of your businesses. And if you are listening in and you also enjoyed listening and learning more about their businesses and all the events that we have coming up, you can find out more information about that at...
Hold on. I'm just jamming to the new music. This is my April Fool's Day prank on you. I'm just going to hold it out. I like this new music, Woody. Emma, I know you played the sax on this, so like, if there's a set, I don't think there's a saxophone in there, whatever. Anyway, you can get more information at cvabc.org. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday.